Rim is sort of the inevitable film that we all should have expected and desired for the better part of our adult lives, in a cinematic environment where most of the popular contemporary films are either A, about superheroes, or B, a love song in the form of cinematic homage to something close to a director's heart. It only makes sense that lovelorn labours of greats like Tarantino and the messy robotic nightmares of hacks like Michael Bay should find some sort of marriage between genres, and we find that manifest in Del Toro's Pacific Rim. Superhero Time isn't designed specifically for review, and it definitely isn't designed for the reviews of cinema, but I think Pacific Rim introduces an interesting framework for discussion of Super Sentai, and that is very much what Superhero Time is designed for. Pacific Rim is ostensibly a film born from the love of tokusatsu kaiju, i.e. monsters of the deep in the form of Godzilla, and from love of mecha. While strictly speaking the film is mostly homage to the entire backlog of mecha anime, providing an innate foundation for discussion that I have no real business standing upon. It would be rather ignorant of any viewer with any sort of history in any sort of tokusatsu and or kaiju product to not see something they recognise in writing and or global cinematic design. Indeed, most of the viewers and most of the discourse associated with the film directly calls back to Neon Genesis Evangelion, an anime about kids piloting giant robots through direct neural interaction against giant monsters with obscene superpowers vying for total domination and or the destruction of the Earth. While Del Toro is on record as having never seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, I think this is still valid discourse. While I think the utterers are entirely misinformed and otherwise ignorant to the nuances of both this film and Neon Genesis Evangelion, I still think it provides a worthwhile talking point. It sort of establishes that Pacific Rim and Eva, and, as I'll soon address, Super Sentai, draw their influences from the same prehistory of anime and television. I've not done the research because I've not got the hours to really touch on the nuances of that prehistory, but I can at least accept that we have a massive history that implies the product we enjoy today. Now to briefly approach the conversation I actually want to have in this episode of Superhero Time. I went into Pacific Rim because I wanted to see Hollywood's take on the tropes of Super Sentai. I didn't exactly get what I wanted. Super Sentai is about a team of people uniting to overcome an obstacle. This theme is merely contextualized by robots combining to make a monster explode. Pacific Rim, inadvertently or by deliberation, touches on the undercurrents of Sentai, i.e. it has a huge focus on teamwork, but regulates teamwork into partnerships, and even goes so far as to literally call the Jaeger pilots Rangers. But mostly its focus is elsewhere, and this is where my review of the film comes into play. I feel like there are established criteria that act to qualify something as A, good cinema, and B, good homage. Pacific Rim, in its attempt to be good cinema, fails at becoming good homage, and then, ironically, in its attempt to be good homage, fails at becoming good cinema. I can get into that in greater detail, but that's not really my job. My job, really, is to use Superhero Time to tell you whether I think you'd enjoy something or not. And ultimately, if you're watching this for the reasons I expect you are, then I feel like you should enjoy this film. Look, it wasn't that Pacific Rim was a bad film. It's just that it wasn't very good.